Hello and welcome back to Crew 42's coverage of the 2023 Michigan Professional State Championships presented by Discraft. Today we are at Earl Brewer Park in Byron Center, Michigan for the final round of the event. I'm Brian Frawley and with me is
Phill Dilone. Let's look at the
Luke.
leaderboard real quick. We see John Lay with a scorching hot round 2 to climb themselves up the field a little bit.
Hi, my name's Luke Taylor. We're at the Michigan Pro Disc Golf Championships, and I'm your current leader, sitting 4 strokes above second right now. So far, it's been smooth sailing. I got 1 bogey stroke on the event. Yesterday, I shot the same as day 1. I've shot 2 -13s out here on Brewer 2 days back to back, and my game's feeling really consistent. I've been making all my circle 1s. I cashed in 1 bonus putt in round 1, and all the throws have been feeling great. So I'm feeling good going to today, and I think it's just keeping it consistent and sticking to the same game plan. I think I played my first pro states in 2019, I believe, so that was 4 years ago, so I was 12, 13-ish, right around there. And I played horrible. But for the longest time in Michigan Pro States, that was probably the first event I went and watched. I was really young. I watched my dad play against Tim Barham a long time ago. Well, not that long, but long enough to be one of my first core disc golf memories. But yeah, no, this ranks up pretty high for me. I know it's only a B tier on our schedule, but as far as Michigan disc golf goes, this is kind of the pinnacle of our season here in Michigan, and everybody wants to bring their A game to this event, and out here it's very scoreable, so you get to see some low numbers and you get to see some good disc golf.
And thoughts on Team Taylor double champ?
My dad's holding it pretty strong, 7 strokes going in the round. I think, honestly, I'm not worried about him taking it down. I think it's up to me to try to make it double champ this year. So just sticking to the game plan. Like I said, just keep making the putts, put myself in positions to score today, and then just walking in on the final 9. So, yep.
All right, today on tournament hole 1, course hole 15, we have a par 325 uphill, breaking to the right very late. If you do come up short, it is protected very well by some foliage, if you will. You want to be careful of that, but most people are going to throw a forehand out there. Right-hand forehand players will throw out there to find circle 1 with ease.
Good morning and welcome to the 3rd and final round of the Michigan Pro State Championships presented by Discraft. This is our lead card here and our 12:24 tee time. Leading us off, sitting at 26 strokes under par, Luke Taylor.
First, we have Luke Taylor from Shepherd, Michigan. He's coming in that number 1 driver's seat. Last year, he did take second in this event, so we'd love to see him coming back for a little bit of revenge, if you will.
Yeah, and the lead card stayed the same. No real movement here. We're going to see the same players attack this course again. I'm looking to fix a couple mistakes. If someone wants to come back and try to take the lead from Luke, they are going to need to shoot a scorching round and really start off hot for us and just give us a show today.
Going with that Big Z Raptor, he did see that Luke came up a little bit short, and unfortunately looked like Nick came up a little bit short as well.
On the pad at 20 under par, Kyle Klein.
Next, we have the reigning United States disc golf champion Kyle Klein, local boy turned local star, with a forehand as well.
Ooh, wow. Did he hit the basket, Brian?
And finishing
I'm not sure, but man, that acted like it did.
Par, Austin Bates.
Yeah, almost some change of direction. We got Austin Bates.
Austin pushes far enough, and he's going to land right inside the bullseye, so that's a great start for him.
Ooh, I did not see this far kick for Nick, but he's a scrambler, so I'm looking for him to get close and hopefully save a par here. Great punch out.
A little bit deep, but it should have a line.
He's probably about 20 past it, but that was impressive.
Luke didn't pop in as far as Nick, but it also didn't give him much of a line. But look at that float.
Patent pending does it really well. They say these days the young guns don't have that much touch, but one thing that Luke Taylor has is a pretty well diverse game, and that was definitely an example of how well he can, float it there. Nick must have been flirting with those trees to not connect on metal from that distance, so maybe have a small obstruction.
And just like that, Kyle gets a birdie. We know the two people ahead of him are not going to get birdies. That's good for his score. Unfortunately, Nick ends up tied with Kyle after one hole. Not the way he wanted to start off, obviously. Luke recovery par was pretty solid, and Austin, after all this, finally gets to tap in his birdie.
Yeah, great birdies to start. Hole 2, we got 356. Yet again, players are going to be throwing a hard mid or a gentle controlled fairway driver up the gut, maybe a slight anhyzer with a nice fade. The key here is to just get it close, get it into the circle, and allow yourself a chance at birdie.
All right, Kyle's taking the pad after the first hole. Seeing if he can capitalize.
Is that coming back, Brian?
I don't think so. That's going to leave him at circle 2 at best.
Yeah, there could be some wind out there. I'm not sure how much, but that was not what he had hoped for. So it looks like Austin did put some anhyzer on it, but that disc is stable enough to come back, and so it did, putting him right at bullseye's edge. Great shot.
Yeah, he's trying to start 2 for 2.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that this course does is mentally, that you could shoot 18 down, if not higher. So it is it's challenging to see, especially on the final round of this tournament. I'm going to be interested to see how the players control themselves, their nerves, and attack the course if they are not playing well. So I don't think Mix is coming back either.
No, not at all. And we did, by the time these guys were teeing off, they were aware that there was some people shooting well behind him too. Not that, they were catching up all the way, but they were shooting in double digits below him. So people were definitely noticed on that.
Yeah, I think the one guy that's got the composure and he can almost play match play today is Luke Taylor. He's a very smart player. I think he knows his misses, and just being allowed to have 5 misses today and really force the other people to come and hunt you is going to be something that he has a big advantage in going here to Championship Sunday.
Yeah, that's being really aware of that. That's huge.
I don't want to say that was one, but that's a slow start for Luke, given kind of 2 away off the start. That must have been a nice left to right headwind. We should see that on the reverse. Hole 3 kind of plays along that. There should be a left to right headwind coming off the road. So Kyle's disc definitely lifted up a little bit right there. And it's going to be an interesting day if we got a nice windy one out here. But the Leafs on the ground are doing nothing. So there could just be some swirling winds happening.
And Austin starts off 2 for 2. That's got to feel great. This hole did play just under par, so we did see some birdies, but we saw a lot of pars too. This next hole that we see, this is course hole 17. This is hole 3 for the event. This might be one of the easiest birdies on the course. We do have OB all on the left side on it or over, but it is a rather short par 4 at 605. You'll see a lot of forehands up over the road. crashing into this area where the drone is right now, and then giving people the option of the forehand back over the road or a backhand approach towards that tree line, settling down inside circle 1. Do be aware that the edge of circle 1 is in OB, so it is kind of a smaller green. Austin, after starting off 2 for 2, takes the pad, and we call the big forehand up over the road.
Yeah, and that disc flips up a little bit, but definitely reliable. Yeah, he finds himself kind of in position with that tree, so he'll probably be attacking with another forehand into the green.
Going forehand as well. This looks like it's going to push into the fairway a little bit more, giving him the backhand option for the approach.
Yeah, and I think a lot of players go with this. It is pretty safe. If you roll a wrist, it's not too great, but in other tournaments here, there is a tall grass on the right is OB, so I think a lot of people have, over the years, adapted the nice forehand over the road. I wouldn't be surprised if you see anybody throw a backhand, but it's definitely out there. It really allows you to just kind of air it out.
And here we go with Nick going 4 for 4 with the forehand over the road. Let's hope everybody can land safe. Nick puts a little bit more hyzer on than the other guys.
Yeah, with this hole being 300
distance.
feet, not 300 feet, but 600 feet, you really just need 2 nice chip shots for their caliber to get you a nice birdie.
Luke with the backhand's going to push towards that tree line. Oh, actually ends up clipping one of the guardian trees and gets him to fall right about circle 1. I'll doing the forehand approach, proving my backhand idea was bad. He obviously knows what to do disc golf-wise. I'd say he does.
I'd say he does too, Brian, allowing him to casually slam dunk it into the basket. Oof.
Oh, little flare. Little flare.
Yeah, and head on over to GreatLakesDisc.com for all your needs. Great selection. I've been to many disc golf courses and stores, and the new improvements there at Great Lakes Disc, including some staff members, they're all looking nice and sharp, and they'll help you out with anything you need.
Thanks for that cold read, Phil. Nick with the turnover approach puts himself well within the bullseye. Looks like that's going to be an easy bird for him. Luke, the farthest one out on the birdie approach.
Yeah, I'd say just outside circle, but he makes it look easy hitting the basket.
Good recovery.
And this is the first time Luke has probably not gotten a birdie here in the first 3 holes of the tournament. So I don't want to say it's nerves or pressure. He still has a lot of time left to play, but his misses are just little right now. So looking for him to find the groove here soon and really get his momentum back kicking.
Speaking of finding the groove, Austin has started off with a little bit of a turkey. He's riding the bull, if you will. Those Happy Gilmore references. Nick goes for the par.
Yeah, and great turkey too by Austin. That should allow him to maybe take a breather right now and just be like, okay, I can do this. I'm 3 for 3. No one's really going crazy in front of me. Let me just kind of settle in and maintain my position. So we have hole 4, big par 4. You're going to want to throw a big stock pushing backhand hyzer. This clump of trees on the left here, you can see it's nicely painted OB. This clump of trees on the left that the drone is also flying by OB. You'll see most players land up just in front of that and then take another hyzer in to the green if they have the position. If not, if they're a little farther left, they will be throwing another forehand over the road, kind of skipping it in down there into the green. So see what Austin does.
This is one of 4 holes that played over par on the day.
Man. Yeah, so he puts it right there by the short pad. He should have an easy either hyzer. He's in a good hyzer position, but he's also a good dominant forehand player, so he might rely on that to get him to the green. That's looking way left for Kyle. It was pretty high on a hyzer.
Oh,
but that'll do.
Tree love and settles. Yep.
I'm looking for Luke to just absolutely throw his pars out right now and just hammer on a disc. This hole allows you to kind of air it out.
Yep, he pushes well down the fairway. Maybe getting a little of that aggression out like you call, buddy.
Yeah, it's always fun to do, especially if there's this is a pretty stock shot for him, so it really allows him to just push it hard and go take a nice little slow walk, allow the other players to kind of go in front of you, allow the other players to either make a mistake and Nick ends up just in a right spot that he needs. But this is a good spot for Luke. Allows him to get his momentum back. He's about 50 to 70 feet in front of these other players. Just gets to sit there and kind of find his poise back into the green.
I'm throwing the hyzer wide into the approach. We got a peninsula green, as we mentioned, and man, he gets that one to stick.
Yep. Going with the forehand.
As a person that's thrown from that tee pad a lot, the forehand's a great line.
Wow, just letting that sponsor asset sign just hit him right in the asset, So
it's important to not adjust the course in any way. You wouldn't want to get a penalty.
Yeah. Nick's going to go with the hyzer around that big orange tree as well. Red tree. Perfect.
Look at that. These are some great approaches so far.
Interesting hyzer here for Luke. He's well open with the forehand, but I do still like the play. As we noted on the last two holes, the wind should be going right to left here for him. So he should be able to play that disc and that wing and just let it float there right into the circle.
Nice call, Phil.
Yeah, sometimes, let the wind be your friend. You do not need to force it. I think that's the way to just relaxing, get back on the train.
Kyle gets his third out of the first 4 holes. And that was the furthest putt away. Here comes Luke getting his first one of the day, hopefully. Bam! Nick looking good in his jersey as always. Yeah. Austin always repping that Team Great Lakes logo. We appreciate him.
Yep. Wow. With the 4-banger from the beginning.
Love to see it. All right, we're on to hole 5, course hole 1. This is a par 3, 274. One of the easier holes on the course, playing almost a full half stroke under par, but you do need to worry about that walking path on the left, and it is inside circle 1. Most players will throw the forehand up and over the bush, over the OB path, come crash in. Some people might try a hyzer approach or right up the gut, but most people, as we see Austin lining up for the forehand.
Yeah, and this green has a weird action to it. If you land a little weird, it has a tendency to kind of hit and roll deep. So we'll see if these players can just stick their shots. That's great. I also like not laying up, but landing about 10 to 15 feet short on this basket. I think it's good. As I mentioned, it does have a tendency to kind of roll backwards, and you don't want an obstructive putt.
Yeah, Kyle knew right away that was hyzering pretty hard, but it doesn't push too deep. And Luke's throwing something really overstable. This has come straight in, up and down almost. Yep.
Yeah, nice Z Captain Raptor, I believe. little bit more juice by Nick, it looked like. You should be landing right there in the circle, though.
Yeah, he did push the furthest over OB, but definitely came back in. Come on, Nick. Oh. Hopefully that's settled down. It gets a little weird back there.
Yeah, hate to see it. Hate to see it.
All right. Mr. Klein's 4 for 5. See if Mr. Bates can be 5 for 5.
Yeah, this is when, as a player, I feel like you're like, oh, second putt always goes in. You're kind of you could either stay in the zone or possibly have that thought that you just said, oh, this is for 5 for 5. So I feel like Austin should be able to recover really easy on the next couple holes, and hopefully he keeps his momentum going forward.
Yeah, that's one thing about where they. Yeah, that's one thing where they are in the course is we're walking up to, another rather easy 2 for most people, and then hole 3 is gettable for a lot of people as well. Since 2015, Great Lakes Disc has been supporting players at all levels, from local leagues and events to professional disc golfers on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Visit GreatLakesDisc.com to learn more.
Hole 6. Dead straight, 312 feet. Player's going to be throwing it dead at it, possibly a flex backhand Anheuser. You'll see a lot of players kind of throwing it up into the left with more of a neutral, understable disc. That's maybe going to kind of gently Anheuser back into the green. Let's see what Kyle does here. He's probably throwing a putter. Kyle does not like it out of the hand. Definitely gets up there pin high, though. He should be okay for birdie. Have to get right under that little tree.
Yeah, he's going to have to dance around those little birdies, or little bushes, but he'll be all right. Luke throwing, looks like a zone.
Yeah, very beat up zone. Did you see that kind of lumpy zone on the tee pad, Brian? When he threw it forehand, it popped up for him. It was really nice to see.
Must be an old Jawbreaker X zone. Austin gets slowed down a little bit by the leaves, but he's going to be right about circle 1.
Nick's throwing probably about 15, 20 feet to the left. He's going to let that crash in and just ride it. There we go. Get some stability back. He seems to have this hole dialed.
Yeah, he's played it a few times. With a step out. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I'd probably go down to a knee just for fun. Take those trees out of there, but he maybe should have. Can't say that I'm the United States Disc Golf Championship winner. So I will keep my opinion to myself.
Boom.
Great birdie after par. Kind of just dropped. There could be a slight tailwind there. I'm not sure.
I'll clean it up the mess, if you will. Yeah. Discussing where the disc should go, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to talk to it, Go to your hole.
All right, we've got hole 7. This is a par 3, 382 downhill. You want to go through these fuel goal posts, if you will, right about here, and then start crashing to the right. You'll see a lot of forehands on this hole from our cards. Some people might take the wide left route with a big, massive turnover. But let's see what happens. Luke throwing
Yeah,
that
everything
forehand
about
right in between.
right in between, as you said. Sorry there, Brian. Everything about Luke's game is just it's so calm. He doesn't overpower things. He's very poised on the tee pad. Just a nice slow and steady run up. It's a great thing to watch.
Let's go with a flatter approach. May have turned it over a bit. I'll go with a forehand as well.
Oh yeah,
Gets it up over that
stability.
stump. Yeah. Oh,
Great
what a
shot.
flare right at it. Made the cameraman turn around. That's always fun.
Come on now.
I need a space. Get in there. Yeah, there we go. We'll have some birdie
Yeah.
looks for people. Austin's going to try from the woods for his long shot.
Yeah, that's the air on this hole. Just kind of pushing it a little too forward. It's a good hole for that. And these trees, I think, are great. They definitely allow you to have that mistake there. But you should be able to get close to it.
Oof.
Oof.
And hopefully we can shake this one off before the next hole. That was brutal. Oh my goodness.
Hate to see it.
There we go. Nick with some positivity on the hole. We love to see that.
Yeah, nice and confident, dead straight, allows to just take a nice good walk to the next hole.
Kyle gets his to drop.
Oh, Luke. On to hole 8, my favorite number. Not hole, but number. We got a par 5, maybe about 360 to 80 feet is where you want to be, dead straight. You're going to see as the drone flies, you get to a wall of trees. There's a Mando on the left, that yellow kind of sign right there. You want to force your disc up into where the drone is about now. If anything, push that back fence a little bit more. There's one of 2 gaps. The drone is taking the wide right gap. You could take the left gap as well. You're going to want to throw a big hyzer with an understable disc to kind of get yourself up and down into this green, or you'll see players throwing a knife kind of forehand cut and hyzer. That's going to allow the stability to kind of fight out there at the end. This is an eagleable hole. Kyle did get it in round 1. Let's see how this plays out now. And that is a Vanguard. That is his more Thunderbird T-Bird 3. Yeah, friendly kick right there
spot.
to a beautiful manicured landing spot by the great volunteers out there in West Michigan.
Nick looking to fly over where Kyle hit and landed. Find that perfectly laid out. Oh, he almost landed right in the perfect spot.
Yeah, so he's going to have a chop kind of forehand or possibly just get a backhand, get himself to the top of that hill.
Oh, Luke got clipped. Boom.
And that'll do good. It's an interesting one. He's in the middle of where you can choose to go the left or right fairway. Yeah, you almost want to just hope it to just skip up in there.
Yep.
Throw it low, get the skip.
I was behind everybody. This will be a challenging line.
Big Anheuser forehand. You kind of just prey on this, Brian. You kind of just throw it up there, and this hole. I think it's a good par 5. It allows you one error. You want to just get up outside clean, and then allow yourself to get up and down for par. So, Cal could still say birdie though, from depending on where he lands.
Yep.
Nick with a great
lands
shot.
out. Austin trying to pick a lane to turn over, maybe get into that eagle range.
Yeah, it's surprising. Every time I come back and play this course, you have a lot of room to go left. So your forehand on that big, like, cut Anheuser, you can almost push it way further than you even believe it can, and you let the gravity kind of just stable out your disc down on its way to the basket. Yep, I believe that's a force. Gets him up there. You got a spotter right there looking to give him a little flag. Great job.
Nick's going to try to play catch with the basket here. It settles down nicely.
Yeah, good up and down with that putter. Good control. He just wants to get on back on that birdie train and get on to the next hole.
That settles up there perfect, too. Everybody's going in the pool. So Luke with the long eagle bid, I believe. Got a couple trees in his way.
He's kind of a hyzer putter. I was going to say that's a good thing, but he goes Anheuser putter on the left to potentially swing it. So goes a little long. He should have an easy comebacker. Nice birdie coming up. Come on. There we go.
Boom. And Nick to get himself a green square. Austin gets the birdie after bogey. Kyle almost hits his head, getting himself a birdie. Which brings us on to hole 9, the final hole of the front 9. This is a par 4, 667 feet. What's a little bit tricky about this is you're going uphill slightly the whole way. And it does play much longer. Your forehand approach is the smarter approach coming in for your second shot as you crash towards this hill and you stop the disc from rolling too far. If you do throw a backhand, you do need to be wary about the slope of the hill and the leaves. Wow, ripping one nice and hard, avoiding the trees and finding a perfect landing zone. Got the cameraman to turn. That's great distance off the tee.
Yeah, it really sets him up for that forehand coming in. As you said, that green's a little bit tricky. You definitely want to fight the angle of it. You do not want to go with it. So you just want to be able to skip on up there. Nick with a great shot as well. Wow. Keeps skipping. Says, I'll see you, Kyle.
Way out wide. Oh, Luke gets a little bit of the cabbage. Austin's watching it. Heiser out. He looked a little nervous. Stay out of the long stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, he should have a relative up and down shot into this green. We'll see.
Keeping it low, looking to hyzer into the green. Come on back, come on. No ground play.
Not
Big
bad,
leads
though.
down
Puts
there.
him, 18 feet out, maybe?
Yep.
Not bad. Little downhill putt for the tall man coming up. Giving himself a good little birdie look.
As you predicted, Kyle with a forehand approach, but unfortunately gets clipped up.
Into the tree. I think his disc slipped out of his hand, going back into the bag there too. He should be all right. He definitely wants to continue to make this push, though, so this is going to give him par at best unless he can throw one in.
This is a healthy bid.
Wow.
And hits the wow.
I know that wasn't a magnet, so I don't know what else that was besides a really good jump putt.
It was the logical thing to do.
Well said there, Brian.
Thank you. Luke gets the final birdie on the front nine. So that's great for him as well as Nick. And we're going to get a couple of pars tapping in.
Luke staring down his competitor from a distance.
Whoa.
Little tricky for Austin.
He got the birdie too. I thought we were getting pars. That's my error.
He's laughing it off.
Yeah. Love to see it. Well, hey, Phil, thanks for being here. Excited to do the back nine here with you soon.
Of course. I really wish this this well could be pumped and we could see some water be draining. We got Luke Taylor, 31 down. Nick Gill, 25. Kyle Klein making a little push, 26. Austin Bates keeping it somewhat close at 23. Lead cards going in.
Look at the boys out on the field playing catch. We want to remind you to like and subscribe. Make sure maybe even give a little share. Shout out to all of our Patreon members. Thank you for everything that you've done for us. We'll see you in the back nine.